back to my YouTube channel. Welcome back to my kitchen. Whoever doesn't know me, my name is Svetlana, and today I want to share with you a delicious apple pie recipe. A perfect apple pie with a perfect crust. So for this recipe, we will need butter, around 14 tablespoons of butter, around 1/4 cup of a shortening. I have a butter flavor, 2 3/4 cups of regular flour. We will need regular sugar, brown sugar, baking powder, salt, cinnamon, apples. I'm gonna write everything, the amount in the description. It's gonna be a little arrow, you click on that, and it's gonna be a description how much of what I use, because if I'm gonna go over right now, I'm gonna get confused and I'm gonna confuse you. But this recipe, we will have to do blunt baking. That means we're gonna bake the crust first with the weight. I'm gonna use beans for that, dry beans for that. I'll show you the technique. And this is how we're gonna get the perfect bottom crust and our pie not gonna get soggy. And also, we're gonna get the juice from the apples, cook it for a little bit, and then put it back in the filling. So we're gonna get that mushy crust. Our crust is gonna be flaky and perfect. So let's begin by making our dough. Guys, let's begin by making our dough. For this, we will need 2 3/4 cups of regular flour, 3 tablespoons of regular sugar, 1/4 teaspoon baking powder, 1 teaspoon of salt, and we just cold. I have 14 tablespoons of very cold butter. I put it inside. I also have 1/4 cup of shortening. I have butter flavor. You could get regular vegetable flavor. I don't like to use shortening, but to make that flaky dough, you guys can't avoid it. Shortening is crucial for that apple pie. A little bit, not gonna hurt. We'll need 7 to 8 tablespoons of very cold water. I put ice in the water to make it very cold, and I'll show you how we're gonna do it. Now we're just gonna pulse the butter. We need to get it to the little pea-sized pieces. I'm gonna start adding my water. I'm gonna add 3 tablespoons. And I'm gonna add 4 more. Help a bit from the sides. I'm probably gonna add a 1 tablespoon more, so it's gonna be 8 tablespoons, because our dough needs to come together. This is gonna be a very crumbly dough. Now we need to shape our dough. So now I cover my table with a parchment paper. What, Kobe, why are you crying? You want apples? No, not now. So we get our dough and we dump it. Okay, here we need divide it to 2 parts. One a little bit bigger. One is gonna be 13-inch size circle, and the other one is gonna be 11-inch size circle. So now we gonna take this piece of the dough. So I have 2 discs, 2 parts of dough. One is a little bit smaller, one is a little bit bigger. So I make it flat like that, so it's gonna be easier to work with. And I cover it in my wrapping paper, and then wrapping plastic paper, and I put it in a refrigerator for half an hour. This is the process. So you could actually make it a night before. Make this dough and then bake it, because it needs to get cold. This butter needs to get cold. So guys, now I'm gonna put it in the fridge, and I'm gonna see you in half an hour. But for now, I'm gonna peel my apples and cut them to slices 1/4 of an inch. So while my dough is resting in the refrigerator, we're getting our apples. I cut my apples to pieces like that, like around 1/4 of an inch. I have about 4 pounds of apples. It was like 7 or 8 apples, depending on the size. Now, to these apples, I'm gonna add 1 tablespoon of lemon juice, about a teaspoon of lemon zest. So we're gonna just shred, it's gonna be the whole lemon, just the yellow part of a whole lemon. That's gonna be about a teaspoon. Also, we're gonna add 6 teaspoons of dark brown sugar. You have light, use whatever you have. 6 tablespoons. Half a cup of regular sugar. 1/4 teaspoon of salt. And usually for this amount, you add 1/4 teaspoon of cinnamon, but Samuel wants half a teaspoon of cinnamon because he loves cinnamon. So cinnamon to your taste. Now guys, we gently gonna mix everything. I like to mix it with my hand because like that I don't break apples, because the brown sugar has those little crumbles that you need to kind of break, and all my lemon zest needs to be mixed in. And right away guys, I transfer it to my calendar because our apples gonna release a lot of juice right now from the sugar and lemon. So now we're gonna let that sugar drain, and then we're gonna cook it and make like a syrup. Like it's gonna be kind of syrup that we're gonna add back to our filling, and that's how we're gonna get that perfect apple filling without running out. So now this we're gonna leave for about half an hour. So my dough in the refrigerator like for 20 minutes. So now I'm gonna show you what I'm gonna do with the dough. So guys, my dough was in the fridge for half an hour. This is how it looks, just like that. So I put it on my mat, and I'm gonna put a little bit of a flour on my rolling pin, and I'm gonna start rolling. We need 13-inch circle. So we gotta work it fast because the butter is melting and it's gonna start sticking. So we gotta work fast. And this is the reason why it needs to be in the refrigerator. So it needs to get cold. So now we put our ends together. This is very buttery, and as soon as it starts melting, it's kind of glues together. And sometimes some of the parts are thicker than the other ones, so you kind of roll it from the thick to the thin, make it even. And okay, now we're gonna put it into our baking dish. I spray a little bit with baking spray. Oops, my apples. And now I take it with this whole thing and just flip it on the top, and that's it. And that's it. And don't pull it. Try to kind of do the inwards. Just gently press it inside.
Smells good.
This is your favorite dessert, Samuel. And now I don't want to cut the ends. I'm just gonna tuck it in because this is the delicious crust. A lot of people I see just cut the ends. I don't want to cut it. I want to eat it. I'm just gonna tuck it in like this, and we gotta work fast because it starts melting. Okay. All right. Me and designs. My food tastes delicious. Is it the prettiest? Not always. But I don't care. I'm not a professional chef. I just love to cook for my family. All right, guys, trust me, this is good enough. Okay, so it's not ready to be baked. This we're gonna cover with the plastic wrap, and it's going back to the fridge for another half an hour. That's why I'm telling you guys, if you have time, you could prep the dough the night before, put it in the refrigerator. You could take it, it doesn't have to be there for half an hour, it could be there for a day or two, and then you get everything together. So guys, I'll see you in half an hour, and our apples also need half an hour to release all the juice. And in the meanwhile, preheat your oven to 375, and I'll see you soon. So we take out our pie crust from the fridge. And up to this point, guys, you could do everything the day before. You could make the pie crust the day before, and on the day you need to bake it, you get the apples and you put it in the oven. So now I show you the technique of a blonde baking, and this is crucial for the perfect crust. So we cover our pie with the parchment paper, and we put the weight. So for the weight, I use dry beans. And we put it in the oven, preheated to 375 for 20 minutes. Meanwhile, we're gonna get our apple syrup ready. So, as I said, you see what got from our apples. And I have a small pot. And now I'm just gonna pour everything in there with the sugar. All our liquid. We're gonna get it to the boiling point, and then we're gonna cook it for like about 4 minutes until it's gonna reduce in half. And then when it's gonna cool off, it's gonna be more like a caramel. But don't overcook it, because it's just gonna become very, very hard. So like about 4 minutes, and that's it. So it starts boiling, and I'm gonna cook it for about 4 minutes. I took out my crust from the oven. Now I'm gonna remove my weight. I take aluminum foil. Oops. And I need a tray. It would be so much more comfortable, but my tray is stuck in one drawer. I can't open it until my husband comes home. So yes, I have to do it like that. And what I wanna do, I wanna cover the edges, because they're gonna start burning. And I wanna put it back in the oven for another, I would say, 15 minutes at 375, and then we need to get our oven to 425 while we're gonna assemble our cake. Okay, now we need to get our apples ready. So we need to add our syrup. We need to add 2 tablespoons of flour and 2 tablespoons of cornstarch. But my son Samuel is demanding to add a teaspoon of vanilla. So we're gonna add a teaspoon of vanilla, and I'm gonna tell you at the end if it makes any difference, because before I made this apple pie without vanilla. So yes, we'll add a teaspoon.
I think you need a little more than that.
Okay, fine. Into our syrup, it got much thicker. So we're gonna add it, and if it got really hard, you put it back. If you cooled off completely, it's getting very hard. You put it back on the stove, warm it up a little bit so it's getting loose, and you put it back, everything, to your apples. Then you add 2 tablespoons of flour and 2 tablespoons of cornstarch. And now we're gonna have to mix everything well. And again, I'm gonna do it with my hand, because I don't wanna break those apples. I wanna make sure everything evenly spread around my apples, but they hold the shape, they not break. So my friends, I just took out our perfect crust from the oven. And this is what it is. If you have a little thing like that, don't worry, it's perfectly fine. It's absolutely no worry. So now we need to layer our apple filling inside, and we're gonna try to put everything together so you don't have a lot of space between the apples, because this extra space is gonna create not the greatest atmosphere for our apple pie. So try to kind of put it closer to each other here, and all our juices. And now we're gonna take out our top from the fridge, and we're gonna assemble it, and I'll show you the rest. Now we need to work fast because this dough, I took it out from the fridge, and before it starts melting, I need to roll it. And by the way, now we preheat our oven to 425. We're gonna put it 425 for I believe 15 minutes, and then we're gonna have to lower it to 375 again for another 45. The total time is gonna be around an hour. Again, flour on the rolling pin. This is too cold. Way too cold. Okay, I guess it needs, because it was in the fridge for over an hour, well, hour and a half. So as soon as it's gonna start melting, it's gonna start gluing together. So now we need to roll to 11-inch, maybe even 12-inch, because my pie is high. So guys, while I'm rolling my dough, it starts melting a little bit, and you just stick it together with your hands. As soon as you put it together, you see it glues. And don't be scared to make it. Even if the first time it's not gonna come out perfect, you're already gonna know what to do. But trust me, this apple pie is such a great addition to a Thanksgiving table and holidays are coming. And yes, it's a little bit of a time consuming, but oh my God, it's so good. So worth it. Okay, now we'll pick it up and we'll do the same thing. We'll flip it over a pie. We gently remove it. Oh, I made. Okay, I moved it. All right. Okay, now it really doesn't matter how you close it. It's still gonna be delicious. So, if you're professional, you could make a beautiful design. But if you're messy like me, you just close it just like that. It doesn't look perfect, but it doesn't have to, as long as it tastes amazingly delicious. All right, so this is done. Okay, now I get 2 tablespoons of sugar, and I get 1/4 teaspoon of cinnamon, because I already put a lot inside. And Samuel loves cinnamon, and I hate cinnamon. Okay. Everybody has different tastes. And I need to make an egg wash. I have an egg yolk, and I'm gonna add around a tablespoon of milk. This is my cinnamon sugar. And this is my egg wash. Brush our apple pie with egg wash. We need that golden, beautiful color that we're always looking for when we bake. And now I'm gonna add my cinnamon sugar on top, just all over our crust. And the final step we're making are holes, slides, like that, because we need the air to evaporate so it doesn't crack open. We're gonna make like little cuts like that, and that's it. I didn't do a nice job. Oh my God, again. Okay, forgive me. I cannot make it beautiful. Just like, I don't have that touch. Just wanted to make it beautiful, but it didn't happen. Now, back in the oven at 425, 15 minutes. Lower it to 375 until it's ready. And one more thing, we have this. So, look at your pie in half an hour. If you see this getting brown and the top is still light, just take it out and just cover it like that. And then put it back. So because sometimes the edges, they cook faster. All right guys, my pie was in the oven for about an hour, 10 minutes. So it was 15 minutes at 425, then I lowered it to 375, and the last 10 minutes I covered the edges so they would not burn the top would get a little more golden brown. This is that beautiful, beautiful color with the delicious crust. Now it's ready to, it passed 2 hours that I took it out from the oven, and now it's finally pulled off and I could try it. Guys, don't cut it right after the oven because dough needs to lock up a little bit, otherwise it just, everything inside is gonna run out. And I'm gonna cut it now. Can't wait. Okay. Oh my god, this crust is so delicious. It's flaky and it's just perfect. The only thing is breaking, but trust me that it's absolutely delicious. Ooh, the top. This, I want to show you how many apples inside. This is it's just amazing. Just so delicious. And you see that is nothing, no liquid on the bottom. This is what we're trying to avoid, and it's excellent. I'm gonna get my ice cream because how we eat our apple pie with, of course, with the scoop of vanilla ice cream. I waited for it for many hours of hard work, and finally I'm gonna eat my delicious apple pie. Look at these apples, full of apples. If you love apple dessert, oh my god. And this crust, look at the bottom of this crust. It's just amazing. This is just the best apple. Oh my god, guys. Oh my god. To say oh my god is don't say anything. And this is my favorite part. This crust, I could eat. This is nothing better than this apple pie. I understand it's a lot of work, but I'm eating apple pie at 10:30 at night. How can I not eat it? I'm gonna probably eat this whole piece. But what I wanted to say is holidays coming, Thanksgiving is coming. Surprise your family with this delicious apple dessert. Trust me guys, it's worth it. This is probably the best apple pie recipe. I tried many. I'm not talking about different apple pies. I'm talking about the American apple pie with the flaky crust. It's just insane. It's work. If you have time, do your dough ahead of time. Make it in this thing in the tray ahead of time in the refrigerator. You can stay there for 2 days, and then just in the morning of Thanksgiving, make this apple pie dessert. And trust me, you're gonna thank me for this. To say goodbye for now. Thank you so much for spending time with me. Don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel because you don't want to miss the most delicious videos that still coming up. I'm posting new video every Friday, so I'll be waiting for you for your beautiful comments down below, and don't forget thumb up. And again, all the ingredients gonna be under the description, little arrow. Click on that, you're gonna see everything that I'm using. And guys, thank you so much for watching me, and I'll see you next time.